everyone. We are here. I promise we are here. Just a few minutes late. Thank you all for coming in. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. I am joined by my co-host Rod, picking and punching next to me. And below, these two ladies have both been on before. We have Rebel, who is the Rebel Reseller on YouTube, and Marsha, who is Red Cardinal Treasures. Marsha helps Richard Otnip Drop Flips with moderating on the channel, and she helps me moderate my Whatnot jewelry shows as well. So you guys probably see her name a lot, but you might not have seen her face. So I am going to let these two ladies introduce themselves. Then I'm going to talk to you real quick about something Richard's been sharing for me, and then we will get to your questions. So here is Rebel.
Hi, my name is Rebel. My channel is The Rebel Reseller. I do eBay for the last 24 years. I have about 10,000 items listed. I am a stuffed animal reseller for the most part. I am a former Navy veteran and a former teacher, and I'm just glad to be back on here.
Perfect. Here's Miss Marsha.
Hey everyone, great to be back. Red Cardinal Treasures. I sell on eBay, and I'm now selling on Whatnot as well. I am also on YouTube, although I haven't been posting in probably a year, but hopefully I can get back into it. And I'm also on Instagram.
Perfect. And everybody's name is the same everywhere tonight, I think. I don't think we have any different ones. So I want to talk to you guys real quick about what I've asked Richard to post this evening. And then I will get to the three. We had 3 super chats before we even started, which is amazing. So thank you guys. So what this is Richard sharing a GoFundMe. Mama Flipper, who is a follower of mine, and she has no clue I'm doing this, and I don't know if she'll be in the chat tonight. She did not ask me. She has no idea I'm doing it, but we are friends on Facebook, and I saw the story, and I thought if I can help with the platform I've got, I would like to help. So just to kind of quickly sum it up, she ran into a young man who didn't even have shoes. He is homeless, and he just asked her for food, didn't ask her for money. She ended up buying him shoes, getting him clothes. He had an interview. He got a job at Walmart, which is awesome, or McDonald's. And she's trying to raise $1,500 for him, and she is only $327 away. So really, really close to the goal that she set. And Richard, when I sent him the link, sent $50 to that GoFundMe. So Richard, thanks for doing that. I wanted to tell you that while we were live. And yeah, so Richard sharing the link to that. Definitely, if you can help, that would be amazing. This young man has just had a really tough situation. If we can help him, I think that would be amazing. And yeah, so let me highlight these super stickers, and then I am going to give you guys a combined dolphin so I don't drive everyone crazy with 3 dolphins at the beginning of the show. So Kristen Crashley sent $3, and then Miss Catherine sent $2, and one. Where's the other one? Is it starred? Where's the other one, Rod? I thought there was one more.
Let me see.
Where'd it go?
I'm looking.
I thought there was another one. Maybe there's only 2. I don't know. So if somebody else sent one, tell me. So I am going to give these ladies a dolphin, and both of them had questions as well. So we're going to, Camille, I found it.
Oh, I got it. All right.
Yep, Camille sent $5. So the first 2 ladies sent questions, so we will get their questions first. But let me give all 3 of you a dolphin first. Thank you all so much. Yay! Okay, so let me go back and find. So Kristen said her question is, what's the best way to find resellers in specific cities or states? I'm trying to find a reseller in Fort Wayne, Indiana to help out, and I was unsuccessful. And do you know of a place to meet other resellers?
We just made posts in my Facebook group, and then I met up with another reselling couple that's in our town, and then it just kind of somebody else who lived near us. So I think the best way to try to do it is to get into some of your local Facebook groups to try to find somebody that can help you out.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Just search online for other Facebook groups, and see if there's anyone specifically local to that area.
Yeah, I mean, what they said, Facebook groups are great. Also, too, if you have Instagram, you can actually search by the hashtags of like reselling, and then you can actually search by the different areas as well. So you can actually find people in your state. That would probably be a good way to do that as well. Or in network, reach out to other people. Like come on here. You're asking a question here. If anyone's in their area, please put it in the chat so that we can try to help her out with some meetups. But you're doing the right thing, reaching out like this. Look at other groups, other YouTubers, and just Instagram. You're bound to find somebody. So.
Yeah, so things like Rod and I are going to List Perfectly's meet up tomorrow night. So we'll meet other resellers there. Watch, like Rod said, watch other YouTube channels because there are meetups throughout the year, and you can watch and kind of see in this chat, people will talk about it. I've learned about meetups in my own chat that I didn't even know were going on because there are quite a few. I know FlipCon is going on again this year. I'm sure the Las Vegas one is going on again. So there are a few big ones that go on, every year, and you'll meet people from around the country. I would say like Dom's group is really good. Primetime Treasure Hunter. He has a reselling resource center, and you could post in there and be like, hey, is anyone from this area? And he's got like 20,000 people in there. I think it might be more than that, but, and you will find people that way as well. Where did it go? I wanted to highlight it. I'm like, oh, here. Miss LaDonna said she donated. Thank you for donating and helping out. This community is absolutely amazing. I don't ask too often, but the times I've asked and had stuff going on, we did some donations for some kids hurt in a bus crash for here local to me last year, and everybody really stepped up. So yeah. All right.
Well,
the next one.
Speaking of amazing community, here's another chat.
Tiffany, hi. Tiffany sent a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Thank you. We appreciate you. Here's Kristen. So Kristen says, what? Oh, that's the same question. Bad cat. I'm like not awake. Catherine has two questions. This is the first one. What would you do if another eBay reseller was selling a fake and trying to pass it off as an original? Do you keep your mouth shut, or what would you do?
I don't think I would know enough, especially like high-end brands, for me to even know for sure if it was a fake or not. So I'd probably not say anything to anybody. It's just not me.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't know a fake from the real coach purse or not. So I would just keep moving and doing my own thing.
If someone's selling fakes, they're bound to get caught eventually because they're going to keep selling them. But I mean, if they're on eBay, you can hit the report tab on it if you want to actually report to eBay, and then eBay can handle it. But other than that, I mean, once you do that, it's out of your hands. There's nothing else you can really do.
Yeah, so my first thing would be I would want to make 100% sure that I knew it was a fake, especially with just seeing pictures and not seeing it in person. So if you know 100%, I would probably reach out to the seller and I would tell them why, and I would be polite about it. I wouldn't go off like know-it-all, because you know, if somebody came at you with that, think of how you would react. So I would come off as trying to, make them know, hey, I'm not sure if you know this. I'm just trying to help you. I wanted you to know that this is a fake, and I would hate for you to get in trouble. I would contact them if you know for sure, because they might not know that it's fake, and you might be helping them. So I think I would try and reach out to them before I would report to eBay if I knew. But I agree with Rebel. I don't know that I know enough about anything to recognize a fake. So yeah.
That actually happened to a Cincinnati picker. He bought some Pokemon cards at a yard sale and put them on eBay, and they were actually fake Pokemon cards. And someone reached out to him and informed him why they were fake, and he took them down. So I mean, yeah, it does work. Sometimes people just don't know; they just don't know any better.
Yeah, and I mean, if you tell them, and as long as you don't come off, you know, like I said, like know it all, and they think that it's rude, then I think you'll be received well. See, look, now you've got somebody, Lisa said she's near Fort Wayne, Indiana, and asking what you need. People in my channel membership have met through my channel membership, because that's like smaller group chats, and they go thrifting, which is cool. There are several different like people in different areas that have met through my channel membership and go thrifting with each other now. So that is really cool to see. Miss Katrina, that is my name too, if you guys do not know that. That's what Cat is short for. Miss Katrina sent a $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. See, that's why I'm saying it really depends on how you come off. I would receive that well if somebody was nice to me about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott says he had someone reach out that a jersey he had listed was fake. They told him why, and it was super helpful to him. So yeah, I think most people will receive it well. This question, I'm surprised it stayed, because Siggy got here like super early. She put this question in at 6:12, almost 2 hours early, but it did. I started, so hopefully it wouldn't go away, and it didn't. So Siggy wants to know, do you feel it would be rude to let a reseller know that their products smell like smoke? I'm assuming maybe she bought something from a reseller, you know, another reseller. The stuff smells like cigarette smoke. So would you mention something to them if you bought something and you noticed a strong smoke smell?
Again, I don't think I would, because is it the packing? Was it actually from their house? Was it from the postal delivery people? Was it UPS? You don't really know. I mean, if it's an issue, I would send them a note saying, I received this with this smell. But I don't know. That one's hard, because I'm not a very confrontational person. So I don't know.
Me, on the other hand, no, I would, but I think I would politely do it, because I received something off, that was a website, but I ordered something, and when I got it, it had the marijuana smell.
Oh.
And it went back very, very quickly. And they actually had the cops there when they opened it, when they got it back and everything. But where it came from, we don't know. But I would politely tell them and just say, hey, just to let you know, you might want to look, you know, if you do smoke or have smokers, to separate your stuff.
Or make a note of it.
Yeah.
I would say from my experience, if they smoke, they know their stuff probably smells like smoke. And if they don't smoke, then you can tell if something's to smell like smoke even a mile away. So unfortunately, when you run into situations like that, I would only probably say anything if I was going to return the item. If I'm not going to return the item, then I'm just going to keep it and deal with it, or wash it, or do whatever I have to do that time.
Some smokers don't know, though. They get so used to it, and if they smoke outside only, they don't realize it still comes inside on their clothing. They just don't see it.
Yeah, and that's why I like having the panel. So I smoked for over 20 years, and I wouldn't have known. I will tell you, I can smell it a mile away now because I stopped 3 years ago, but I would say something, because they might, like Marsha said, they might not know. And again, it's all about how you say something to them. You know, if you're like, hey, I'm another reseller, I just want to know, when I got this, it smelled like smoke. Like, I'm not going to return it, or I am, you know, whatever you're doing. But like, I don't want to return it. But as a fellow reseller, I thought I would let you know, because I don't want you to get bad feedback. And just maybe say that. And yeah, so that I would probably say something. But again, it's almost like kid gloves. You know, you don't want to. Yeah, there are still some. There are still some. I know a few people that still do. Not many though. Not many, but there are still some. Lori sent a super chat, or not a super. I'm like, listen, my allergies are acting up. I'm not sick this time. Not sick. I've been having sneezing fits ever since I got home from Key West. I'm like allergic to home now. I just need to go back to Key West. Lori said, thank you for all the great advice. When you send offers, do you send a message to, and if so, what do you say?
I don't. I send bulk offers. It's just whatever that little standard thing is in there. So I don't send a personal message anymore.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Click, put a number, I want, send it. I don't bother.
I normally don't unless it's like a holiday or something, like New Year's or Christmas time. Then I'll say, hey, Merry Christmas. Here's an extra discount for you or something along those lines.
So I'm going to pull mine up because we have it saved and like Lynn copies and pastes it. So we put, here's your chance to get this item at a great price. Please accept the discount on top of sales price. I always run sales if you know me. And I say this offer is being sent to all watchers. Be the first to accept and it is yours. Thank you for your business. So that is our message. We copy and paste it. And I will occasionally, if I'm on my phone, I want to send an offer, but I rarely send offers from my phone anymore. So most of the time I have that custom on mine. Do I think it makes a difference? I really don't.
I wish they'd make it like where they have the choices like they do on the feedback. That you can save your choices.
Oh yeah, where you could auto set some. Yeah, for sure. Caroline wants to know, can you discuss pros and cons of offering free shipping versus buyer paid shipping? And if the buyer pays, how do you calculate the shipping?
I don't do free shipping. Ever. I have mine set up that anything that's first class, I have flat rate. I have 0 to 4 ounces is $4.50. 4 to 8 is $4.75. The next bracket is $5.75 and $6.75. Now I think with this next pay increase or the postage increase, I may have to up my prices a little bit because at this point, I don't think it'll be covering it for everybody when they buy. And then I have calculated shipping for everything over a pound.
Yeah, I don't do free shipping either, being in Florida, since I usually have to send to California. So I am not paying those prices. It's going to be your business model, basically, whether you want to or not, what you sell, where you live. There's a bunch of variables. How you calculate the shipping when you're making your listing. You just figure out what the dimensions and weight of your box are going to be. You put them in there and it automatically calculates the shipping to your buyer when they purchase.
Yeah, so I've done both. I've done free shipping and I've done not free shipping. And now I do not offer free shipping anymore. The reason for that is because I used to like to run discounts in my store all the time. And, by discounting my items, forgetting there's free shipping on some and not on others, it was becoming more of a hassle and I was losing money at the end of the day. So I ended up changing everything over to calculated shipping. Just like she said, I measure out all my items. I measure the weight, measure the size of the item, put the dimensions in the system, and eBay automatically calculates the shipping. One of the pros, though, to offering free shipping is, a couple of years ago when Amazon started doing free shipping, everyone had to pick up and do the same thing. Walmart, Target, so everyone started offering free shipping. So a lot of sellers on eBay did switch over to that, but there's been a shift now in the past year where a lot of people are actually going back to calculated shipping just for the fact that people are losing money with the free shipping. They could try to compete with Amazon on that platform. But I would say if you're selling items, just one thing to keep in mind though too is if you are doing calculated shipping, if you're selling an item that's $4.99, the shipping's $6, it may be better to just put the item at $10 with free shipping because it's a psychological thing for the buyer. But a lot of buyers do not like to buy items that shipping is higher than the actual item. So that would be the only time that I would probably recommend doing the free shipping. But if you do free shipping, just put in your calculated shipping, add that on top of what you're going to sell the item for, and just put it up for free shipping. So it works both ways.
Yeah. So how to calculate the shipping, you can do calculated shipping. That's an option on eBay and Etsy as well. and Mercari. You just put in the dimensions, the weight of it, and it will calculate it from your zip code to the buyer's zip code. So you don't have to calculate it. You just choose calculated shipping, and the system will calculate it for you as long as you put in the correct information. I do buyer pay shipping because, and it's funny, people were like Rod saying, like, people don't like to pay more than the shipping. We sold a $23 item last week, and it's going to be on my What Sold video next week. $23 item. They paid $170 in shipping on a $23 item. And they did pay it. And it cost $100 to ship. It was a big Build-A-Bear closet. So like the value wasn't there, but I got it in a lot. But because of the size, it cost us $100. So I did refund them. I did refund them $50 on that because it was so high. But it was over $100, and it was on the East Coast too. It wasn't even going to a West Coast buyer. Jeez. So I can't imagine what it would have cost going to the other coast. Okay, I'm going to read Jeremy's statements. Jeremy has a long list of statements. Jeremy said, Rebel, he totally stole your air pillow trick for shipping coffee cups. Thank you. And then Marsha, I'm a horrible human being, but I can finally remember your name from Red Cardinal Treasures. And then he had statements for all of us. Rod, welcome to the team. And Kat really won't fire you if you mess up, promise. I did not fire Julian. And then he's asking me if my furniture sales have picked up. They haven't, but I haven't gotten any new furniture pieces in close to a year and a half, 2 years, because the freight cost was up, because the cost of gas was up. So I kind of stopped sourcing furniture, and I don't have room for it right now. But the few Ethan Allen pieces I have just been sitting for a long time. I actually have thought of either figuring out something to use them for here in the shed, or maybe one of my friends with a booth here locally. I need to get them out because they're really taking up a lot of space in the shed, unfortunately. Miss Diana wants to know, has anyone ever noticed selling something and then all of a sudden it is back in the active listings?
I've not had that happen.
Me neither.
I have not had that issue either.
So I have not noticed it happen right after, but I have had it happen. Stuff I know sold, I know wasn't double listed, and then I see it sell again, and I didn't relist it. So there's some glitch. I'm not sure what it is, but I have had it happen probably just 2 or 3 times in the last year. Not a lot, but I definitely have had it happen, and I don't know what makes it happen.
The same glitch that makes them disappear, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've had that happen.
Or you actually change the quantity of the item, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Molly wants to know, have you ever put items on sale, and when the sale ended, your items maintained the sale price and did not revert back to the original? That just happened to me, and I'm wondering if I did something inadvertently.
You're on mute. I don't know if she heard us or not.
I did. Sorry.
Okay.
I've not had that happen, so I can't speak of it either.
I haven't either. It almost sounds like you clicked something wrong.
So when you do run a sale, it could take up to 12 hours for the sales to actually kick in on eBay. So it may just be a delay in the process. But I've never had that happen to me, but that would be the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, so for me, I've had the opposite. So you guys know, if you're running a sale and you change the price while it's on sale, it will revert back to the original price after the sale ends. So you cannot change a price while a sale is on, because it will revert back to the original price. So if you want to reprice things, you need to do it while there's no sale on. But I have never had something maintain the sales price and not revert back, because I run a sale all the time. So I very rarely don't have a sale going on, which is probably why I would not notice that. Miss Cheryl said, what would you do if you sent the wrong item to a buyer? If the buyer reached out, do you tell them to start a return through eBay, or just ship the right one and let them keep the other one? The other item was $40.
I've done this several times, and I let them keep the item that I missent, and then I go ahead and send them the correct one.
Yeah, thank God I've never done that, but I guess it would depend on the item. I mean, if it's a $300 item, I'd send them a label to get it back and send them the correct one. But if it's a cheap one, just let them have it and send them the right one.
Unfortunately, I have done this, and I have done all different things. I usually let the buyer keep it if the item is cheap enough. It's not worth me paying the return shipping and then to ship another item back to them. I have a situation where the buyer just wanted to keep it because the item I sent them was actually worth more than the item I should have sent them. They said, "No, I'm fine with this item. Don't worry about swapping out." So it really comes down to the buyer. I would send a message to the buyer, fill them out, apologize, offer them an additional discount in your store and anything else they want, and then give them different options. Let the buyer choose.
Yeah, so I'll tell you guys a couple of stories that have just happened here recently. And I think one might have been Lynn, the other was me. We had 2 vintage Jeff Gordon sweatshirts, and we sent the wrong one was pulled. So in that situation, it was a almost $50 sweatshirt. I sent the buyer a return label, but we shipped the correct item before we got it back. Basically, I'm trusting them to send me the incorrect one back, and we immediately shipped the correct one out to them. So that just happened last week. And then I have had a nightmare of a deal that happened actually in January and finally resolved. And that was either myself or Brad switched labels. So one buyer got a $10 Harley pen and the other one got a $100 Pottery cup. So what happened? The person who got the pen and was supposed to get the $100 cup that was a Christmas gift, she was super nice, amazing. I bought a label from Pirate Ship. So this is a case of switching, not wrong item, label switch. Bought her the right label, sent the photo of it from Pirate Ship to her. She immediately shipped the pen out. Well, the guy that got the $100 item was out of town. So he told me, I can't check. I don't know what I got. He was pretty rude from the beginning of it. And he's like, it's an 8-mile round trip to the post office. This is your mess up. What do you think you're doing? I don't want a job. He was like so nasty to me. Like, I cannot even tell you. And it was probably 30 messages of being extremely nasty and rude to me. So I finally was like, I am not taking the abuse from this guy anymore. And I asked the original buyer, I said, I don't have any more cups, but I have a planner in the same pattern. It's a $300 planner. So $200 more than the original purchase. I said, can I please just send you this? And I told her, I said, this guy's being a nightmare for me to work with. I have another pottery item in that pattern, same maker. Can I please just send you this $300 item? She said yes. And she kept apologizing to me. She was so wonderful about it. She's like, I'm so sorry he's being difficult with you. And I told him basically to take the cup and shove it and blocked him from ever buying from me again because he was so nasty to me. We've had a few buyers lately that are extremely rude, condescending, and nasty. And I don't, in this case, I'd rather lose $200 and send actually $300 because he kept the $100 item than have somebody, talking and being so rude to me. So I told him, and he probably doesn't know it's $100 cup. It's somebody buying Harley pens, not somebody who collects pottery. But I told him, keep the cup, never message me again. And he's blocked and sent the lady the $300 planner. And she was so patient. It took 6 weeks before this guy ever answered me and even let me know that he actually had her cup. But yeah. Miss Eileen is asking, what are our thoughts on the Facebook algorithms? And I'm assuming she means for Facebook Marketplace.
I quit selling on there. It just turned into a disaster between the delete and relist option where it was duplicating stuff, and I quit selling on there. I haven't been on there for months.
I've never even clicked into it, so I couldn't tell you.
It does. Yeah, it's all over the place. So I do agree with you there. It's just one of those things. You got to work through it. It's Facebook, just like eBay. They change things up and it messes up the whole algorithm. So
Yeah, so I'm banned off Facebook Marketplace since early last year. So I don't sell on there. When I did, though, it was like it either sold right away or didn't sell. And I didn't have time to go refresh 1,000 listings on there. So I think if you're selling really popular stuff like my Harley pins and Harley clothing would sell really fast when I was on Facebook. But if it wasn't like a popular brand or something, it kind of sat. So we're not selling on there anymore either. Miss Cheryl said, if you know ahead of time you have a set like a pair of earrings and matching necklace, do you sell them together or separate?
I don't sell jewelry, so I don't know.
I would probably sell them together.
I would probably sell them together to just try to, instead of having two separate listings, and just try to have one with a higher price.
Yeah, so I'm about 50-50. Like if the bracelet is a common size, like 7.5 inches, 8 inches, I would probably put them together. And people that watch my Whatnot shows know this. But if the bracelet is small or the necklace is small, I'm going to separate them because what if somebody can't fit that size? So that's kind of where I go. If it's common sizes I think everybody would wear, I would put them together. But if one or the other is smaller, then I would separate them out. And then on Whatnot, I let people know. I'm like, hey, I have the matching necklace to this coming up. But some of the ones I just cataloged, I put necklaces and bracelets together because they were stretched. So they would probably fit everybody. So it just really depends. Now, if it's an expensive brand, I'm probably leaving it together. Like if it's Coro, Weiss, one of the name brands, then I'm probably going to leave it together. Miss Camille said, with the new year, what changes or additions are you making to selling? I think she means on other platforms like local sales auctions. Like, are you adding anything in for the new year to your selling platforms?
I sell on just the eBay, Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark right now. I've dropped Bonanza and Facebook, but I don't think I'm going to open up to other platforms, but I think I'm going to cross-list more to the other platforms.
I just a few months ago started Whatnot, so I'm going to be doing it. I've done 10 shows so far. So eBay and Whatnot, but I don't really want to get into any other, like Mercari or Poshmark. I don't know. They're just weird to me.
So I will be starting Whatnot at the end of the month, and then currently sell on Poshmark and on eBay. But I am going to be using this perfectly moving forward, and I'm going to be selling on cross-listing all my items on multiple platforms, Mercari and Posh, and my Facebook Marketplace, some other platforms, to really just try to expand my horizon. So.
Yeah, so for me, we are hitting Whatnot hard. We are live 6 days. Today is my only day I'm not live on Whatnot this week. We're live 6 days. Where did I talk about it? I talked about it on Whatnot. So if you don't go to my Whatnot, shows you what know. Our truck, while we were down in Key West, we got a phone call. It would be $4,000 to $8,000 more, and they still couldn't guarantee that would fix it. So I said, I'm done with this truck, and the truck would drive fine for up to 15 miles. So we actually drove the truck and we traded the truck in. So now I have truck payments that I did not want. I paid cash for the other one, but we needed something reliable. Brad hasn't been able to do his woodworking business for 3 months because we had no way to go get lumber. So I said, forget it. So that is why I'm 6 days on Whatnot. Like, I don't like having vehicle payments. So I'm going to try and pay that off fast. And Lynn and I have been talking about this because our eBay sales lately are either non-existent or insane. So, I mean, like, we either have $100 days when our average is 500 or $1,000 days. Like, there's no in between for the last week and a half. So if that continues for 30 days or more, I will probably have Lynn spend time hashtagging Mercari and Etsy to try and get more sales on those two platforms. But hopefully it will come back up as tax returns start to come in and as we're listing more. So definitely, I'm not I don't like the interaction with people, because around here you have to drive a long way, and then if they don't show up, which is frequent, local sales just don't work for me around here, and I don't have the time to like sit at a flea market all day. I've got too much going. I couldn't sit still that long. Miss Chance wants to know, do you ever price an item above comps? And if you do, what would be your reasoning?
I price mine up a little bit above comps only because I put my store on sale right away. So it just kind of balances it out, I think.
I think I have a couple times. I can't think of an item offhand, but if it's not very many of them listed and I think my pictures and description and everything are better than everybody else's, then I'll price it up a little bit.
I actually do it all the time. So I specialize in selling a lot of high-end collectibles, such as like graded comic books, sports cards, video games, VHS, stuff like that. So sometimes I'm the actual market setter when it comes to those things. I will list an item high because there's no other items listed, or the items that did sell was a while ago. So I will list it high and hopefully get some offers, or because there's the only one out there, people will buy it. So also too, if you have a good reputation and you specialize in a certain niche, you can actually ask a higher premium for your item because people want to buy certain high-end items from sellers that they can trust. So I have situations like that as well, where I may have the nicest item on there, and the ones that did sell were either had dings on them or just didn't look as nice. So I listed mine higher than what the comps actually were because the item I had was actually better than the ones that originally sold.
Yeah, so for me, it would be like if I have a new one and the other ones listed are used, then I would comp above, I would price above the comp. Or if you're looking at sold comps, but there are none listed, then I will increase my price as well. I did actually with the Mighty Key Pottery, which is what that cup was that sent to the wrong lady. I priced all mine higher because the history on WorthPoint showed they would sell for that, but the market value had decreased steadily for over 5 years. And there were only 20 listed on eBay. I bought 70. So I actually have 80% of this Potter's stuff on eBay is mine. So I priced up and I figured let these people sell. And if new people find them and they're comping, they're going to see my higher prices. And I've sold a lot, and I'm hoping to bring that value back up of that potter because he's an amazing potter and it has been working so far. So those are the few times that I would. Fabulous Flamingo says, has anyone heard a strategy for Poshmark clear out where you cancel all your items, relist everything for $50, and then drop your prices 10% every 30 minutes?
I'm on Poshmark, but I am not a hands-on thing. I'm pretty much listed and forget it. So no, I don't know any of that.
Then I don't sell on Poshmark.
I do sell on Poshmark. My fiance has a little clothing boutique on there, but yeah, I haven't heard that. I mean, it's real similar like eBay. You end your listings and just relist it, sounds like. So
yeah, and that sounds super complicated and super annoying to me. I am totally hands off with Poshmark. I pay an app to share and send out offers to my likers, so I don't even do that myself. And for me, I have 6,000 listings. Do you know how much time it would take to end and relist 6,000 things? Way more time than it would be worth actually spending compared to the sales that I would probably get. Miss Jeannie says, why weigh the package after it's sold? The seller has already paid shipping. I thought you could not change the shipping. So Rebel, do you want to kind of explain to her as far as calculated shipping, how that works and after the sale?
A lot of people don't actually weigh their stuff. They just kind of guesstimate. I mean, I weigh everything before I list it, but I still have especially when I'm in the ounce stuff, I might say it's going to be 8 ounces and it might end up weighing, 9 ounces and I have to bump it up. But yeah, a lot of times people don't know exactly how much it's going to weigh until they've actually packed it. So you can change the shipping anytime you want. You may have to pay
you
more
haven't
yourself.
paid for it. You haven't paid for it until you print the label. So
Right.
like, I guess like Rebel said she was doing, I rarely weigh unless they're really heavy, but you would estimate it. And then if you were under, that's your fault. You're going to pay the extra. But if you don't change that weight before you print the label, your buyer could either be stuck paying the difference, or it might get returned to you because you don't have enough postage on it. So you 100% can change the shipping. Now that is for eBay. For Mercari and Facebook, you cannot change the weight after the fact. So if you jacked up the weight on Mercari or Facebook, it cannot be changed after. You would have to cancel the order and tell the buyer to repurchase it. And Poshmark, as long as it's under 5 pounds, it doesn't matter. But on eBay, you 100% can change it. I don't know if Marsha and Rod have anything to kind of add to that.
Yeah, I would say it's also comes in handy for buying. Someone purchases multiple items from you, so you can actually combine the shipping and adjust the shipping cost, and you can actually issue them a partial refund for the difference, or you can keep the difference if you really wanted to. So it's just up to you. But you do have some flexibility with eBay being able to change the shipping cost. You can't change what you charge the buyer, but you can change the shipping cost.
So you just need to learn in the beginning, weigh your items, weigh your packing material, and you learn as you go. I mean, I can, like Kat, I can weigh my item and I know exactly how much packing is going to be on top of that. And I'm usually pretty close. So it just comes with experience.
Not just weighing though, but also measuring your items, because especially when the post office changed the dimensions on things, and the people that were just guesstimating the size of an item got screwed big time and had some additional fees last year. I think it was last year they changed that.
Yeah, I think it's what, 22.
Yeah, for the longer, like golf clubs and things like that. Yeah, for sure. Shanae's Closet wants to know, what is your cleaning process for various thrift items, hard goods, linens, photos and things like that? So what's your cleaning process for stuff?
I sell a lot of plush, so a lot of mine gets washed. In fact, my whole living room right now is full of stuffed animals drying. As far as hard goods, I have my set little stuff over there that I like to use, 91% alcohol, or an spray that is fragrance free that I can wipe stuff down with. I just, depending on what the stain is or what I'm working with. But for the most part, I do try to wipe everything down.
Yeah, clothing always gets washed as long as it's not new with tag. I sell a lot of glassware and stuff, and I usually just, in the kitchen sink, I just very soft sponge and soap and water, rinse it off, get all the dust and crud off it, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes if you can't wash it in the sink, I just use a very light toothbrush if I have to get in crevices. I don't take a whole lot of time. I may take 3 minutes, but just enough to make it presentable and clean.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't waste a lot of time cleaning my items unless they're like a really high-end item. But one of my biggest pet peeves is receiving an item in the mail that has dust over it. So I would always wipe down all my items. So that literally takes 30 seconds to do that. I don't wash my clothing or blankets unless there's stains or something that I need to get out of them. Usually if they are good, I take good photos of them and I put them in poly bags to keep them from getting any damage to them or anything like that. But
yeah, so we have, actually, you can probably see there's wipes right there on the counter. We use Clorox wipes on like the glass and hard good item. Linens, if they're clean, I'm not going to wash them. If they're noticeably dirty, I will wash them. But I try not to pick up stuff that needs a ton of cleaning. So most of the time we're doing nothing. Probably 75% of the time we don't have to do anything to the items to list it.
the best way to say is, remember, profits, not projects.
Yes, for sure. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, I don't wear used sneakers because I refuse to sell and clean shoes. No.
Yeah, so I will get shoes that are in good condition, but I don't pick up shoes that need work. Miss Sue wants to know, do you price up on Mercari and Poshmark from your eBay prices?
I don't. I just cross list, and whatever it is when it gets to the other platform.
Rod?
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I list it, I list a set price on all platforms. Then there's no confusion.
Yeah, so I do not change for Mercari and Posh. Those are the same price, but I do increase my prices by 30% for Etsy. But I've been running 20% off sale on Etsy. So really, I'm only increasing by 10% on Etsy because I've been running a sale on Etsy as well. I've thought about just doing across the board, and I might change to that because that would make my mom a lot happier than having to do the math all the time. But so we do price up for Etsy. Miss Eileen says, tell me something that you changed on how you do your business that became a game changer.
Listing on other platforms, using List Perfectly. That has changed everything. I only started doing that probably in the last 2 years. So that's big for me.
One basic thing I did was I bought a roller printer. Oh my goodness. Once you buy a label printer, you'll never wonder why you did those cut and paste labels before. Oh my gosh. Definitely get a label printer if you can.
I would say for me is to so take all my photos and do everything in batches. And at the end of the day, I reset my business. So I make sure I put everything back. And then I bring out maybe 10 or 20 items I want to photo the next day. So when I start my day, I know I walk right in. I can just start taking photos. I can start jumping right into it. Because I found myself before is I have my death pile is pretty big. And I would walk out there and just pick and choose different items. And then it's kind of like when you're sitting there trying to put it on Netflix and put a movie on, and you just go through, you're looking at everything, and then 20 minutes later, you waste all that time trying to find what you want to do. So by the end of the day, I get all my stuff set up for the next day. And when I wake up, I already have all my stuff laid out, set up, and I can just jump right into it. It makes my workflow so much better.
Yeah, for me, the big thing would probably be hiring people. So I've got more people working and we're getting more done, which is probably not the case for, I'd say 90% of resellers. You know, most people aren't at that stage where they're ready to hire people. But that has been the big thing for me because with social media and everything I've got going on, I just cannot do it all myself as much as I'm wanting to. And kind of the deal breaker for that, for hiring somebody full-time, was adding in Whatnot because eBay was sorely neglected for months. And the sales reflected that. So we're still working to get that back improved right now. Finders keepers first. Miss Eileen says, does anyone worry about bringing bed bugs home from thrift or bin sales?
I get this question a lot because for some reason,
What's
I guess
plush?
people think stuffed animals. I mean, you're going to get them if you're going to get them from clothes or anything else that you're going to bring home. But I have never had an issue. And I say this several times when I've been asked. I worry more about getting bed bugs in a hotel room when we're traveling than I ever do on bringing stuff home from a thrift store. Never have worried about it.
Yeah, me either. I think the chances of you getting them are so slim that it's not even worth thinking about.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've been selling for over 20 plus years, and I've dealt with tons of things like that, and I never once had an issue or even thought about this across my mind. I mean, another thing too is anytime I buy items, I always put them in my garage or put them in my storage unit first. I've had an issue before where I had bugs or something come out of a box, you know, when I was sourcing something and stuff like that. But, you know, those are things you can adjust and take care of before it gets to that point and go through. So I always make sure I search my items or the boxes just for that reason when you are buying out big lots.
I had a spider come out of the box.
Yeah, I don't worry about it at all. And I've never had an issue in, you know, now 3 years selling everything, but I've been on eBay since 99. Some of my thrift stores, and it's really nice, some of them actually wash all of the clothing and linens before they put it out. Not all thrift stores do that. And it's funny because I know which ones do, because you like walk in the door and it smells like laundry detergent. Like it smells fresh and clean. I'm like, oh, they wash everything. But so no, I don't worry about it either. I wanted to put this up. So Mama with a Camera said only 232 left to goal. It's actually now only 172. So it is down to 172. So Richard's going to put the link up again. You can read the story there. I'm not going to go through the whole story again, but Mama Flipper, another reseller, came across a gentleman who needs help. So if we can help her hit that goal tonight, that would be amazing. So we only need $178. We have 447 people in here. So even if everybody went and donated $1, we would hit the goal. So if you can, even just a couple bucks, that would be awesome. I'd love to help her hit the goal. And she has no clue I'm doing this. She didn't ask me. I am just doing it because I saw it on my Facebook page and figured I would help because I can. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. I do not. So maybe in the chat, people can give you some more names. I saw some getting thrown out there, but Eileen wants to know where's a good place or an app to get a Louis Vuitton bag authenticated.
I know there's Facebook groups that can at least say they have professionals on there that can tell you if it is or not, but I don't even deal with that stuff at all.
Maybe reach out to Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not the guy, but I mean the company.
There's actually people on Instagram that will help you with that. I would actually search Instagram, and I think Slobby Robbie too is one of them. That the guy who had the show on Netflix, he had a store in Arizona too. But I think he used to authenticate things for Louis Vuitton. If I'm not mistaken on that.
Yeah, and I don't know. And Vicky so Mama with the Camera says real authentication. Vicky, the real, I've heard that as well, the real. Vicky also said she can't get the app check to work. So if anybody knows any shoe authentication places, if you could put them in there for Miss Vicky as well. She said she couldn't get the one app. Richard just messaged me and said everyone who donates from $8.58 on, he will match the donation. So if you donate to Josh for Mama Flipper, put it in the chat, and Richard is saying he will match the donations for the last hour of the show, so we can hit this goal for Mama Flipper and Josh. Vicky, tell Richard so he can start a tally. Richard needs to start a tally, and he said he will match it. So when we did, and I was crying when we did the school bus donation, 2 young girls were in a school bus hit by a semi close to my house, and Clara from List Perfectly was on with us, and she matched dollar for dollar that night, and Clara matched $1,200. So I actually got to bring a check of over $2,500 up to the school directly, and I was crying. The principal was crying. They recorded a video for all of you. I put it in one of my videos. So it was absolutely amazing. This community is a great community coming together.
They're coming in back to back donations.
Richard,
now.
They want to make you pay, my friend. They said, okay, Richard challenged you guys, and they are donating. So we know what we were at. So we'll see what we're at the end, and Richard will match it. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. All right. Miss Katrina says, what is your favorite item to sell and why?
Funny Katrina. Vintage plush. Always. Eden, some of the other older brands, Animal Fair. I love to save the vintage plush.
I like pottery and glassware. Yeah, I like the breakables. I kind of like that. I like the pottery stuff too, because I love the history of the stuff.
I love selling vintage toys, and part of the reason for that is when I get a big toy lot, like I pay for my education. So I literally learn, it takes me back to my childhood, and I also get to learn about a brand new field or a new category. Like recently I bought a giant lot of slot cars, which I knew nothing about. now I consider myself very knowledgeable. I did the same thing with G.I. Joe lot earlier this year. Bought a massive G.I. Joe lot, and I learned a lot from those. So now my eyes wide open for those things. So that's one of my biggest things is I love buying big lots of things I've never sold before because it helps me educate me on what to look out for.
Yeah. So for me, it's so hard because I love so much stuff. I would probably say lately my jewelry, and that's because I love the gemstones and I love hanging out with everybody on Whatnot. So I would have to say jewelry lately on Whatnot is my favorite thing. And I like it so much because it's a fast sale. As soon as I put it up on Whatnot, it sells. And I love rocks. I keep saying it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get an I love rocks sticker. I will make an I love rocks.
You need
sticker.
to.
Because I do. I love rocks. Other than that, if we said not Whatnot, I love my Kachina dolls. So I like selling them to other people who appreciate them. Richard's gonna pay.
Richard's gonna be broke.
Richard won't be broke. Richard, a couple people asked how to donate. So if you can drop the link again, and the whole story is in the link so you guys can read that from Mama Flipper, Miss Michelle. And again, she has no clue, and I don't think she's in here tonight. So she might look at her email and be like, what the heck just happened? Which is amazing.
There we go. We hit the goal.
We're at 15:08. We hit the goal for Mama Flipper and Josh. Yay! Richard just put the link again, so now we're over goal. That is amazing. So we hit the goal. I have chill bumps. I love the community. Yay! So it's awesome. We can help this young man that's down on his luck. All right,
you guys are awesome.
Yes, Richard is amazing for matching as well. And Richard has a question for us. If you do calculated shipping and you can ship it cheaper, do you refund or keep the difference?
I keep the difference. It's just helps pay for my shipping supplies, and we're paying fees on that shipping. And, I keep the difference. I mean, unless it's something I've grossly over exaggerated the weight somehow, and it's just a ridiculous amount, then I'll give a refund back. But normally I just keep it.
Yeah, same here. If it's a couple bucks, I'm going to keep it and use it for my materials. Otherwise, if it's, $20-$30 over because I combine some items or something, then I need a refund. Yeah, I'll send the refund back.
Yeah, I do the same. If it's just a few bucks, I end up keeping it because, they already paid it. They already know that's gone. And then I use that to counter if any times I undercharge people for shipping, so it balances out.
Sorry, I'm messaging. So Mama Flipper and I, again, are friends. So I'm telling her to check her GoFundMe now. Or should I wait until the end of the show?
Wait till the end of the show.
Wait.
I'm not going to send it. Okay. I'm not sending. And I'm 90% sure Mama Flipper is Drew, Profit Monster's mom, guys, if you guys don't know. Mama Flipper is Profit Monster's mom, and she's a flipper as well. So for me, as far as the shipping, if it is big, that like that closet, it was a $50 difference, then I will refund them some. But remember, keep your fees. Don't go refund and cost yourself. So I will figure the cost of my box, the cost of my materials, and my fees, and then I will refund them that. If we're talking $5 or $10, then I'm not going to refund it. We're talking, unless they ask, if they like eBay wouldn't let them combine and they asked, I will do a refund in those situations. But otherwise, I'm not going to. Diane is asking, can I change the carrier the buyer selected before purchasing the label?
I always ask. If for some reason I picked priority and I realize UPS is going to be a whole lot cheaper, I'll send them the message that says I can save you this amount of money if I can go ahead and ship it UPS. But if they don't respond to me, then I don't change it. They're expecting priority mail. Maybe they don't like UPS. So I won't unless I've gotten permission to.
Yeah, same here. I don't use UPS or FedEx anyway because honestly, I have had real bad experiences on my end as a
Same.
buyer, and I will never use them. So as a seller, but that's me personally. But yeah, I'd reach out, like she said, reach out and say, hey, is it okay if I go ahead and do this and I can refund you a few bucks, or and then go from there. But otherwise, yeah, I would just keep it what they selected.
I do change it sometimes if I can save money or if I save my buyer money. Because sometimes it might be, especially if you're shipping a heavier item through UPS, then through the post office, it's going to be cheaper to go through UPS or FedEx. And I have changed it. I won't mess with the buyer or anything like that if the shipping time's the same. I won't change it if it's, they pay for 2-day shipping and it's going to be saving money. It's going to be 5-day shipping. I won't change it. But as long as it's the same shipping time frame, then I have no problem changing it.
Yeah, and I change it as well. Only if it's a big difference, and I don't give them an option. So mine haven't chosen. Like the only option there is priority mail. I don't put FedEx and UPS on mine, but it is a pain in the butt for us to ship UPS or FedEx because we have to go to a drop-off station that will randomly close early, and it's really hard sometimes. So I hesitate to do it unless it's a big money difference. If we're talking $2 or $3, I'm going to leave it on priority. I'm not going to switch it. Pee-wee's asking if any of us have registered as an LLC to keep from being sued for business purposes.
I'm actually going to see an accountant tomorrow. We had an accountant for years and then had some problems with him and decided we'd do our own taxes for a couple of years. But as far as for not being sued, that ain't in the picture, but I'm going to go see if an LLC or an S Corp is something that we should be considering at this point.
Yeah, I'm a sole proprietor, so an LLC will help protect you. And again, we're not accountants, so talk to a tax accountant, but see what would work best for your situation.
Yeah, I'm incorporated, and it's not because I'm afraid to get sued. That's not the reason. There's so many tax benefits to being incorporated as your business expands and grows. So that's the best benefit for that. It's going to be your tax breaks with a corporation.
Yeah, so I am also incorporated, and it's not, I thought about that because some people will try and like scare you, and you'll hear horror stories, but for me, like a lot of people say so they can't go after your personal asset. I will tell you guys, my business assets are way more than my personal ones. So that's not saving me much. And that's kind of by design, to be honest. But we're incorporated as well. And I, again, think that's a question for an accountant. I am going to have Mark 2, Not Your Dad's CPA, on with me live Friday, so you guys can ask an actual accountant. So he won't tell you I'm not an accountant. He might tell you I'm not in your state, so he might tell you that. But I will have Mark on with me live to answer tax questions on Friday for you guys.
Yeah, so let's keep all the tax questions to Friday.
Yes. Save tax questions to Friday for Mark 2. And I guarantee we're not going to get through them all. I'll probably do an hour just because I know he's busier than I am, especially right now. Accountants are very busy right now. So I'll probably just do an hour show. So we probably will not get through all the questions. Katrina wants to know, she has some double listings. How do you fix this? And did eBay create double listings?
I know you can Google eBay duplicate listing something, and it's going to pull up a program that you can run your store through, and then you can delete. It'll give you all of the red flagged ones or the yellow that says, there's something too similar. I run that on occasion because I'm one of those crazy people that do delete and sell similar every single month for 10,000 listings. So there could be a chance that something hiccup in the eBay algorithm, search. So I run it on occasion just to make sure I haven't duplicated, because eBay's not too happy with you if you have duplicate listings. They'll smack your hand.
I've never had that problem, so it's probably just a little glitch again.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a glitch because I cancel my listings. I do that daily and do sell similar, and sometimes I get distracted and I actually try to relist the same item twice, and eBay will throw up a red flag and block you from doing that. It will say this item is you already have a similar item listed, so it won't allow you to actually do it for the same price, same title. So it might just be a glitch that you're dealing with in regards to that.
Yeah, and I haven't seen duplicates in a long time, but like Rebel, I did the search and found the little eBay program, and it pulls up your listings and tells you what is double listed. Noni, I don't know the name of it, but if you Google eBay double listing checker, it will come up. And Beachwalker, I'm going to go ahead and answer this. She wants to know what time is the show on Friday. Friday the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when Mark II will be on with me. And oh crap, I think I scheduled a Whatnot show for the same.
I thought you had a Whatnot show Friday.
I do. So I'm going to go change. It's going to be at 6:30. Wait, nope, that won't be early enough. Okay, it's going to be at 5:30. No, 4:30. Oh, heck. 4:30. Just change it. Man, I'm killing me.
I'll check. Right, I'll check later.
4:30. That's my final answer.
I need a raise.
from zero. Noni wants to know, does Whatnot expect you to do shows every week, once a month? If you sign up, are you obligated to do shows regularly?
I'm not doing Whatnot, so don't know.
They kind of want you to do 2 a month is what they say, but some people don't do them for months on end and then come back and do a bunch. And so I think as long as you can at least do one here and there, you're fine.
Yeah, I just went through the training for it, and they want you to do them consistently, but there's no penalty if you don't do them each week or once a month. You just do them around your schedule, what fits best for you. But they do encourage you to do them on a consistent basis because you are, just like eBay, just like Instagram, just like any other social media platform, you are building up an audience. And the more you're on, the more exposure you have, especially starting out.
Yeah, so I am one of those people. I was approved in March and didn't start till September. So I went almost 6 months with no shows. So do they expect you to and want you to? Yes, but are you penalized? No. We are now doing 5 to 6 shows a week because my income is more than it is from eBay. I am making more money on Whatnot. So that's why I'm doing it more. I'm going to go where the money is and put more time and effort into what's making me the most money. And right now that is Whatnot. So yeah.
Kat, I want to answer Kat real quick. I want to answer Paula in the chat real quick. Paula, she has an assistant right here. Cat's Whatnot, Cat's Whatnot, Cat's Whatnot.
I do have an assistant. I have a full. I do. Well, not Marsha, but I have a full-time assistant, but she's only been with me 3 weeks. So we've only worked on eBay thus far, but I probably will branch out to like including her in social media and whatnot, but I don't want to like completely 100% overwhelm her right now. So right now she's pretty much running eBay for me. But I like today we both packed because it was a 4-day weekend. So I helped her pack. So I'm not just like leaving it and she's doing everything. And I still price and research all of my listings. So she does drafts. I have another lister that does drafts. I come behind them, edit my title, research and price every day. But I need somebody to look at my schedule other than myself because I don't know what I'm doing, just like that. Tony says, when you cross post, do you state that in your description?
No.
I don't cross post, but I wouldn't if I did.
Nope, I just use the same inventory system, and I put that in my listing, but that's it. So I know I can find my items, but no, not at all.
Yeah, and I do not, and I bet that's against terms of service, especially if you say those other platforms' names. I will tell you guys, though, I had a drink fountain that sold on Poshmark, and it actually ended up being 13 pounds, so I had to cancel it and tell them, I'm sorry, I can't ship it out. Poshmark only allows 10 pounds. And they said, is it listed anywhere else? And I said, yes, it is, but I can't tell you where. And they went and found it on Mercari and bought it. I just didn't. I said, yeah, it's listed other places. I said, I can't mention any names. And they went and found it and bought it on Mercari and paid. The shipping was quite significant. They did go and pay it and no problems. And they were happy. So, yeah. Charlene is asking, is Google Lens accurate and compared? So I just want to say WorthPoint doesn't have a search by photo function, so there's no comparison to make there. But a lot of times when you use Google Lens, it will bring up a WorthPoint page. That happens to me if you have rare items, but there's no comparison to make because WorthPoint is more for typing in. Like if you know the brand, the name, you find it like that. You don't find it with the photo function unless Google Lens brings it up on WorthPoint. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything to that.
I'd say Google Lens is pretty accurate. I say about 7 to 10 times you will actually get the item that you're actually searching. It works great for action figures and plushes. I've used it a lot for that. So
I'm gonna put this one up that just came in, and I've said this multiple times, and people have asked me to make whatnot videos, and I've declined. And I'll let Marsha speak on it as well, because Marsha doesn't have the following I do. I had a following when I started whatnot. So I feel like for me to encourage you to start based on my results is not fair. Unless you have 59,000 followers on YouTube like I do, I cannot encourage you to sell on whatnot. If you want to sell on whatnot, then sell on whatnot. But your experience is probably going to be way different from mine. Sellers, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to let Marsha speak on it because she doesn't have a big following and she's on there. So that's why you guys don't hear me. Like, I'm not encouraging you to do it because I think it's a very long and frustrating road for most people that don't have a following. And that's why I don't make videos on it. That's why I'm not encouraging you to sell on there, because you're not going to get the instant success that I got, unless you have a miracle. So Marsha, tell them, with starting without a following, how whatnot has been for you.
Yeah, and it's all going to be on how you look at it, where you want to go with it too, because like you said, I have 185 subscribers on YouTube and I don't do videos right now. So I'm kind of starting, but you just like on YouTube here, you got to go into chats. You have to network, post on Instagram and Facebook and get your name out there, trying to start. Go to other whatnot streams and chat, make some purchases, just get your name out there, be helpful to other people in the chats. And I've done 10 shows on whatnot now, and I have not made a killing. I'll be very transparent. I've only made probably $500 over those whole 10 shows. But I went into it knowing that I wasn't going to make a lot of money at first. I'm selling stuff that I'm okay selling for $2, $3, $4 a piece, to get the experience, to have the fun, and to do the networking and build it. And eventually it'll come. So I'm just going into it to have fun, to network. And everybody that's in the chat that's been in my shows and bought, thank you so much. And so yeah, it's a long haul, and don't expect to go in there and make $10,000 in your first show, because it's probably not going to happen. But
yeah, if that I don't make that much on a show, but
keep your expectations where they need to be, a lot lower than probably what you think they should be. And then if you go above that, then great. But just go for, in the first couple shows, it'll be a learning experience. Just do it as that. It's a learning experience. If I make money, I make money. If I don't, I don't. I think my first show, I made $40.
Yeah, Miss Barbara, her name she's my moderator. She's Red Cardinal Treasures, same name on Whatnot. And what I have started doing since I got an iPhone for Whatnot, I've been rating smaller sellers to help them grow their audience. I rated Marsha. Caroline's in here, Caroline Hetman. She's Sweet Caroline. You guys hear me singing to her almost every Whatnot show. I'm singing Sweet Caroline. I actually played that.
Yeah, we got good music last night.
Yeah, I played Sweet Caroline. Dalton has been singing to people in the Whatnot streams, which has been amusing. But so I'm trying to help other sellers that way. I alternate between a smaller seller and a larger seller, and it helps other seller, and it gets my name out more because I send to people that I don't even know. So it gets my name out more and helps me and them. Sunny wants to know, is there a way to select calculated shipping on Etsy? I want to start selling on Etsy, but I don't know how that works.
You have to set up stuff. You have to set up like your shipping preferences. And then when I go in and I cross list something, then I can choose whether I want it shipped priority mail, medium mail, or first class. But I think you have to set all of that up before you even start selling on there. But yeah, it's all calculated, and I put in the measurements and everything, and it's very accurate.
Yeah, I used to sell on Etsy, and I don't remember, but I thought it was pretty similar to eBay, isn't it? When you do your listing, if you don't cross list, but just make a listing, you can just set the parameters. If I remember right.
I don't sell on Etsy, but I will say one of my best friends is Handmade and Beyond on YouTube. He'll answer any question you have on Etsy. So if you have any questions for him, I would highly recommend reaching over to his channel. Great resource for everybody who has Etsy.
And I want to say, I'm like wagging my finger. This just started on Etsy. Etsy is doing so on eBay, I don't pay attention to my box size. So everything says 6 by 6 by 6. If it's under 12 by 12 by 12, I don't pay attention. Etsy is doing cubic shipping now. So if you put in 6 by 6 by 6 and it's a 12 by 12 by 12, you're not going to charge your buyer enough. So that's been kind of frustrating because I don't remember getting notified about when they switched to doing cubic. And that kind of jacked me up a few times. So make sure you watch that on Etsy. They are doing
that like
cubic
recent they did that? Because I don't remember getting any email either. That's weird.
That I've noticed, Jess. Paula sent a $10 super sticker, and then I'm going to highlight a good friend of mine in the chat. Miss Paula, thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Look, I didn't even hit it. Rod hit it. I didn't hit it. Rod knew who I was talking about. Julian is in the chat. Julian! See? He loves us still. He's here. I promise you guys. Thanks for stopping by, Julian. I don't know if Kayla's still awake. Kayla, if you're there too, thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate you. Rebecca wants to know, how do you price something when you can't find comps?
I face this a lot because I sell a lot of vintage, very obscure plush that nobody else would even consider looking at. So I always go high. I list something based on condition or whatever and try to find something that's similar, even if it's not the same brand, and then price it a little bit higher because then, you know, the offers are going to be what kind of settles the price for me as far as what I think somebody's going to end up buying it for. But yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, price high because you can always come down. I bought a table runner that turned out to be something special that I could not find anything anywhere. I bought it for $2 in an estate sale and sold it for $200. So
price high and put best offer on it and let the offers come to you. Best way to do it.
Yeah, and I find something similar. So if it's like a souvenir item from a certain town, I found it a lot with ephemera when I did vintage, like a lot of the vintage brochures. I would search for other souvenirs from that location, or that like tourist attraction, and you'll see some of them sell higher. So I would get an idea of like the price range stuff from that place was selling. But if you can't find it, I'm gonna price high as well. Miss Rita says, have you had problems with item not delivered? The item must be lost. The buyer is wanting a refund immediately, but she called their post office and was told that the post office has the item, but the buyer had it held for pickup at a later date. So that almost sounds like somebody's trying to scam them, is what I'm reading. So what do you guys say about that?
I've had that happen one time where I knew they were holding it at a post office, waiting for me to give them a refund. And unless they open up an item not received, just ignore them, because that's what if they open up an item not received, then eBay's going to see that it's being held at a post office, and they're not, I don't think they would force it on you, but you never know. You just never know how it's going to go. But until they open up an item not received, don't do anything.
Yeah, because the tracking will show held for pickup. So that's on the buyer. That's their responsibility at that point. It's basically been delivered.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I always tell them go through the proper channels on eBay, open up a claim on eBay, and then we can go through eBay. That way there's buyer and seller protection through eBay. And if you circumvent that, then you can run the risk of getting screwed out on money or additional things. So always have them open a claim through eBay and then go through the proper steps that way.
Yeah, so I'll tell you guys, and I was actually really surprised. I had an international one that showed that it said delivery attempted overseas, and they weren't able. And eBay sided with me. I got the email today. It said because they attempted to deliver to the person's address internationally, they gave me my money and didn't give them a refund. I do want to put this up. Paula said we have over 1,700 on Mama Flipper's GoFundMe. Richard just put the link in again. Her goal was 1,500. I think we started at like 1,100. So guys, we have raised almost $600 tonight for Josh, for the young man that is homeless that Mama Flipper is trying to help, which is absolutely amazing. And since $1,328, Richard said he would match it. So Richard's almost matching about $400, which is going to put us over $2,000 on Mama Flipper. So at about 9:45, 9:50, I'm going to message her on Instagram. I don't know if she's awake, and see if I can get her attention and be like, hey, check your GoFundMe, surprise, which should be fun. And maybe she'll come in here the last few minutes. All right. Shanae wants to know, how do you cross list after photos have been uploaded to List Perfectly? I'm just going to say, Shanae, I have 2 videos on walkthrough on how to use List Perfectly. And the easiest way to contact their customer service, I think, is their Facebook group, and other List Perfectly members will help you in there as well. They have a List Perfectly Facebook group. If you're trying to cross list to Etsy, but it's not working, there might be a glitch or something. We've been cross listing to Etsy today and yesterday, so we haven't had issues. But a lot of times I've had to update my browser add-on, and that will fix some glitches. But I would join the Facebook group, or you can email them. They should answer pretty fast. Weight changes the cost, but if it's within the 12 by 12 by 12, the cost shouldn't change. Is that correct? That is correct. Unless you go over 12 by 12 by 12, the cost is not going to go up. But if it is over that, it will go up quite a bit. I think Cammie's asking if any of us use a vacuum sealer. Oh, here she put it again. Does anyone use the vacuum sealer for bedspreads, blankets, to save on shipping?
I don't.
I have. Yes. I have used one. I had some big pillows I needed to sell or ship, and I wanted to get them in that 16-12-8 box, and I got it in that 16-12-8 box.
I haven't, but now I want to.
I haven't, but I make.
I even have a huge stuffed animal right now that needs to get vacuum sealed, and I put that in the listing. It would come to you vacuum sealed because it needs to get in that box.
I am my own vacuum sealer. So like some of the comforters I ship in trash bags, and I will like not close them all the way, and I will push them down and like push all of the air out, so it's like half vacuum sealed. I'm gonna highlight this real quick, Rod, and then we'll grab that one. Julian said, "Have a great night," and here you go. It is in writing. Hit the thumbs up, and P.S. I did not fire. So there it is in writing for all of you, just so you see. All right,
Julian, I've been telling everyone that I beat you in a wrestling match, and that's how I took your spot.
Reseller Ride sent $5 super chat, said, I listed a vintage tee on Sunday, so that's just 2 days ago, for $395 and already have 18 watchers. Would you go ahead and send an offer to buyers or wait for someone to send you an offer?
I don't sell t-shirts, but I automatically start sending offers. It doesn't matter to me. It's just an automatic because, you know, giving them a 5% offer, if that's going to nudge somebody to buy it, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. Go ahead and send it. It'd probably be a smaller discount than it would be if it was 2 weeks from now. But yeah, definitely send at least that 5%. Get somebody in there.
I send offers to my buyers every single night. I rather take 90 cents on the dollar than 100% of what I'm listing because I want the sale right away, get that money in my account so I can use that money to buy more merchandise to flip. So
yeah, and we send offers 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah, your tin can tat.
I think she's frozen.
Hold on, I'm gonna
freeze you in the best positions too.
Somebody said I froze with my mouth open earlier.
You did.
Oh my gosh.
Scott,
am I better now? Am I better now?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay, well, I won't change it yet. But so I send 10% off. We send it twice a day. I never wait. Here is your dolphin. And then we put up Scott's comedic super chat. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Scott says that I fired Julian and he signed a non-disclosure agreement and can't tell the truth. Follow him for more made-up drama. Scott is a great guy. If you guys haven't seen him, he is wonderful. Scott, thank you so much. Here is your dun, 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 dun. All right. What is the name of the printer that I use for stickers? It is, I don't remember. But Richard, will you drop my Amazon affiliate link? It's in the first group on my Amazon affiliates. What's the name of, I can never remember. I have to look it up. But it's on there. Rod, do you have it in front of you, the name of it? Because Rod got one.
I forget every time. I do not.
Is it a special printer or a special paper?
No, it's just it's a lower cost thermal printer.
Well,
I have one of those we got for backup, and I print stickers on it.
I know I get your stickers all the time because
it is the Off Nova.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Off Nova, and I have the wireless one, but I don't use the wireless capability. I just plug it into my laptop. So I haven't tried the wireless function. Miss Susan wants to know, when selling lots of junk jewelry, is it shady to take photos with the good stuff on top? I think we can all answer this whether we sell jewelry or not.
I don't sell jewelry, but
she's gonna cop out of that one. Yes, and as a former auctioneer, yes, it is shady to do that. You want to some good stuff on top, but you want to show them, yeah, it's not all good stuff. There's other stuff in there too. So be realistic. Don't try to, it's almost like scammy, not just shady. So
I would say always take photos of everything that you are listing for sale. I'm okay with the first photo being that on top because you want that eye appeal, but make sure you have additional photos showing everything that you do have there so people aren't misled, because that's the last thing you want. It's going to ruin your reputation.
that's a
and it's gonna
guaranteed
ruin your
high
sale.
dad right there. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna put nicer pieces on top. But I would definitely show more of the whole lot because I wouldn't want to mislead them. But like Rod said, for kind of eye and visual appeal to get people to click, I probably would, but I'm going to show the whole lot so they know exactly what they're getting. We have another super sticker from the Artful Journey. Thank you so much. Here is your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. And Rod put, now I forgot his name again. Say his name. What's his name?
Oh, Handmade and Beyond. LL from Handmade and Beyond in the chat. So he will be coming on in March too, I think. Yeah, on the show here. So he will be answering questions, but he's in the chat right now. So if you guys have any questions for Etsy, throw them in the chat. He's helping out and answering questions.
Perfect. Thank you for coming in. Sarah says 99% of vintage and linen clothes stink. How do you handle that?
If you think they stink, wash them.
If they stink that bad, don't buy them.
True.
No, yeah, if they stink really bad, I won't even stay in where it is, the garage sale or the estate sale. But if you get it home because you didn't really notice it, yeah, it's getting washed. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people that buy vintage items, I think, already understand that may have a certain smell to it, or just like paper does.
Kind of musty.
Yeah, it's like musty type of smell. But I would say wash it if you have any concerns about it. But I think that kind of goes with the territory most of the time. But
I would say some vintage clothing is not safe to wash, so I'm gonna disagree with washing it because some of it you could totally destroy by washing it unless you're hand washing and being very careful. I don't think 99% of it smells bad though, and I buy a lot of vintage clothing. That musty smell though, I think is expected, and I have not got complaints with the musty smell, and I don't wash them. Again, because if they're that old, you could damage them by washing them. But I think that musty smell is kind of expected. If it bothers you, I would say don't buy them if it's like that, because I would hate to buy them, you wash them, you ruin them, and you just wasted your money, But I mean, if it's like a vintage tea that's in okay condition, you probably can wash it. But a lot of times washing it doesn't get that musty smell out because it's been in there for like 20 years. And you don't want to put like a ton of Febreze where people would complain of like a perfumey smell either. So you got to be careful both ways, whether it stinks or goes. Listen, don't drink until you can't smell. Alcohol encapsulate the musty smell and help, but must test a small area first. What, Scott? What are you drinking? Vodka? Scott doesn't drink. I can't even say that with like a straight face. He said, Scott, Scott sells a ton of expensive vintage clothing. So tell us if you were being serious or you're being your jokester self. You need to tell us, Scott.
I think he's being serious.
I think he is too. Scott, tell us if you're being serious. See, this is what happens when you make all your jokes. Nobody believes you. You're like the boy that cried wolf. Kissing cousins. I just figured it out. That was like a riddle for me while I was reading it. Are there regulations that prohibit selling coffee table cigarette lighters on eBay? And is there something else I should consider before trying to list and or ship them?
I don't have any experience with that one, but if I had questions like that, I would go straight to my postmaster because I live in a really small town and my postmaster would say, yeah, you can ship that, or no, you can't ship that. So that's where I would start, but I don't have any experience with cigarette lighters.
Yeah, I can't 100% tell you either. I mean, she's asking about eBay for selling them. Maybe if they're empty, obviously, yes, but
So I bought a massive collection of Zippos a couple years back, and I used to sell tons of used and new Zippos. I never had a problem shipping those. Now, was I allowed to ship them or not? I don't know, but I would definitely double check your eBay, regulations on there. What you can and cannot sell. That's the best thing. Just do your homework on it.
I'm sure shipping would have to go ground.
Yeah.
So no international, but
It would be one ground. They did go ground.
Yeah, so that's the big thing is they can't ship international. And if they have alcohol or fuel in them, you would need to ship them ground. But other than that, no issues. Rick wants to know, what do we think? See, he is serious. Yeah.
He's 100% serious.
Unflavored vodka, go spray it on all your, but he said test it first. Don't go spraying everything with vodka, people. Test it.
Test it on the clothing or test it by like
drink it first, or test
on
it
the
as on the
clothing.
clothing?
Drink a little and then spray a little.
One for you,
to make
one
sure
for
it's
me.
strong enough. Yeah.
Breath spray. Rick wants to know, what do you think of WorthPoint?
We bought it for the first time this year, and we found a book, and I looked on eBay. I did my normal comps and everything, and I just happened to go to WorthPoint, and I realized, looking at WorthPoint, that my book was super rare. It was by a different author than the regular books were by, and it made the difference between me selling a book for $50 and a book that we sold, I want to say $150. So I think it's worth its weight now, where I was one of those people that was like, I'm not buying that. But it really is worth it if you buy things that are unique. And even stuffed animal sellers find stuff that's unique.
I don't use the WorthPoint, but I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it.
I would say starting out, it may not be worth the money you pay monthly on it, but once you are an established seller, it pays for itself over time, 100%. There's also Facebook groups. I mean, you technically you're not allowed to use other people's accounts, but there are some Facebook groups that you can actually, if you have a one-off item, you can post it in a reselling group, and someone on WorthPoint would actually look it up for you and help you out if it's just a one-off, though.
Yeah, and I absolutely loved it. I've subscribed to WorthPoint for over 2 years. And even if you only use it a few times a month, if you're finding a few things, like Rebel said, that made $100 difference for her. I've had several items that made $300 difference in what I priced. So just that one item that I priced $300 higher paid for my WorthPoint for the whole year, because I have the lowest one. I just do the lowest subscription. I just have the cheapest one. I just look stuff up, and I think it is completely worth it for sure. Jace wants to know, can you change your listing to local pickup without causing a mess on eBay?
If they haven't purchased it already, you can go in there and add local pickup. But if they've purchased it, then you're going to have to cancel and then add the local pickup and then let them repurchase it. And I've done that before. Not very often, because I live way out in the boonies. Nobody hardly, I think, buys my stuff. But I have had it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that basically answers. You can if there's no bids on it or they haven't purchased it.
Right.
Just what they said. The only piece of advice I can give to you is make sure you educate the buyer. And when someone buys something for you, they're going to get sent a code that you have to scan it on your phone that allows eBay knowing that the item was picked up in person. So make sure that the buyer has it, because I will tell you, I've done many local transactions with local pickups, and I had to educate my buyer almost every single time, because it's usually like people are buying it because it's for a present or a sporting event or something. They need it right away and they can't afford it. They can't wait for the shipping. So just make sure you have the code for the buyer.
Yeah, and I think everybody said everything. Robin wants to know, do you keep track of how much you pay for your stuff for taxes, and do you keep a spreadsheet for all transactions?
I'm like Kat. I'm cash in, cash out. We have bank accounts that are totally dedicated to our business. We have credit cards that are dedicated to our business. We have debit cards. And then I have a handy dandy little spreadsheet thing on my phone, and anytime I pay cash for anything, I just do it in that. So, the accountant that I initially met with when I first started getting really big on eBay said, whatever you do, whatever you start, be consistent with how you're doing it, and you should be okay. But yeah, no, I don't keep I just bought 30-gallon garbage bags of stuffed animals on a trip last month before I caught COVID, of course. But it would be hellacious to try to figure out how much I paid for every single one of those items. So for me, we just do cash in, cash out. So I don't have to pay attention to how much I pay for each individual item.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Cash in, cash out. I save receipts.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy something for the business, equipment or supplies or inventory, and for those, say, well, how do you get like a receipt at garage sales? Receipt books. Just write the address, the date, how much you paid. There's your receipt. They don't have to sign it or anything. They say, oh, get the seller to sign. You don't need that. Just have that, and that's good enough. And spreadsheets, I'm like, no. I am so old school. Everything's pen and paper.
So for me, I do like everyone else, cash in, cash out, and I have my credit cards hooked up. I have a business account and I have business credit cards. So anytime I make a purchase, I can use a credit card. I use my credit card, and that's hooked up to my QuickBooks, and I can go in there and mark it as a business transaction. So I can run a spreadsheet at the end of the year for all my transactions. And then when I do cash pickups, just like her, I have a ledger that you can literally go on Amazon and buy it for like $5 or $10 and you can give people receipts if you need to on that, but just keep in your car if you are going out to yard sales every week. And that way, only time you can use cash is probably when you're out at yard sales or doing local pickups. So keep in your car, and that way you can write it down as you go. That's the best way that I've seen it work for me, but you have to find a system that works for you best.
Yeah, and I have one of these in my car too.
Yep.
And you can find these at garage sales and estate sales for like 50 cents, So
yeah.
Pick them up.
Yeah.
Also, too, since a lot of us are on YouTube and do film their findings, we do have a video record too of
I have
of that.
video proof.
I got video proof. So, IRS, go watch all my videos. All right.
Yeah, I say that all the time. I do not keep spreadsheets. We're starting to use my reseller Genie, which it starts at like I think 10 a month, goes up to 20 a month, and that allows you to put in the cost of your items if you're doing accrual, which means you are tracking each item, and it will spit out the paperwork you need for an accountant. So I have a code for that. I don't know if I gave Richard that link to drop yet, but it's my reseller Genie, and my code's the nurse flipper. That's what it is on almost everything. All caps, no spaces. And I think you get 15% off of the first month with my reseller Genie, and the highest package is $20. So that they started out when GoDaddy stopped supporting resellers. So they'll import all your eBay sales and track all your data so you can watch your profits and stuff like that easier. I think in 2 minutes, we're going to try, we only have 12 questions right now left. I think I'm going to try and do the quick fire round when we get to that. So probably after this question, we are going to try and quick fire and answer the rest of the question. Marsha loves to sell says, do you send out offers to likers on Mercari, and do subsequent offers have to be lower than a previous offer you've sent on that exact listing?
I have tried the offers to likers on Mercari. It has never generated one single sale ever. But yes, if you go back in another, I don't know what their time limit is, but if you try to do it again, you have to offer even less than the last time.
I don't sell on Mercari.
Yes, I do. Well, I'm not selling right now, but I have in the past. And when you do send an offer, that I always send offers, all my platforms, Posh, Mercari, eBay, anytime, Facebook Marketplace. I send personal messages to people too for offers that have reached out to me in the past, lowering. But yeah, and then over time they will those each time you send an offer has to be lower than the previous offer.
I do not, unless I'm very bored, which is like twice a year. But I have got sales from them when I do send them, but I don't send them very often. So Ed, the reselling writer, says 24 hours from your last offer, and you do have to make the new offer if it's to the same buyer less than the previous offer, which is a quick grace to the bottom. I did want to say 950, which is now, Richard is saying he'll call it. So there's $395 in addition to what he already did. He said he'll make it a $500 match. So we have 10 minutes left to donate for Mama Flipper for Josh, a young man who needs some help. He's homeless. So Richard will drop that link again. Let's see what we can get. I did message Michelle on Instagram and Facebook, but she hasn't seen either one of my messages yet. So I was hoping I could get her in here, but she hasn't seen my messages yet. So she did not ask me to do this. She has no idea I'm doing it. Typically I will tell you if you come to me with something like this, I'm not going to do it. Cause then everybody would come to me with it. So if I see stuff that kind of touches me, then I bring it to you guys. Blockhead Arts sent a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Here's your dolphin. All right. Are we ready? Try and answer them as quick as you can. Are you ready? Here we go. Do you send out offers to all? Oh, we are Cat. That's slowing up the quick fire. If you shop from the bins, what are your favorite bins to shop?
We used to always go to Indianapolis because we could hit 2 on the way there and then 3 in Indianapolis. But now I figured out St. Louis has 2 of them and Robert's family is there and they feed me lots of good food the whole time we're there. So
Priorities.
That's my favorite.
I've never been, and the closest one to me is in Orlando, and no, I am not going to that one.
I have been to the bins in Tampa. We have one in South Tampa, and it was great. There is another one now in Ocala that I'm going to hit up and check out too here in the future. But
Ocala closed at COVID, and I don't think they ever reopened.
Oh, they never reopened.
Just FYI.
Well, that's good.
I don't think they ever reopened.
Well, that would have sucked.
I mean, you can come visit me. That's like up my way, but I don't think they ever reopened. So I have been to quite a few bins in my travels. My favorite bins were Birmingham, Alabama, which is not close to me, but those were my favorite bins. Has anyone tried Poshmark Lives?
Nope.
What advice do you have for someone that isn't on the traditional platforms?
Get on
like
eBay.
Facebook or Instagram.
Get on eBay. eBay's the best one to be on to start with, and you're going to make better sales there, I think, personally.
Yeah, same here. And then use the other ones to piggyback off of that one.
Yes.
Mercari is the easiest one for people to start because it's very simple. And then I would say eBay. eBay's going to have the biggest market for you compared to Amazon, but it's going to be less complicated.
All right. So Richard just sent me. So we got Michelle to $2,200. Richard just donated $500, guys. He matched everybody's donations for the last hour. So we actually raised $1,000 for Josh on the show, which is absolutely amazing.
Insane.
And I will let you guys next week know what Michelle says because she hasn't seen my messages. I would say I agree. Get on eBay.
Can you videotape the phone call?
Well, I'll have to screenshot it because it's a message. Lisa said, do you prefer using eBay categories or store categories in your store, and why do you like your choice?
Now, I'm going to be the oddball here because I use store categories because I sell so many character toys and plush that I set up store categories for each brand plush that I like to sell. And then I have it also for, you know, all the different Batman and Marvel and just Blue's Clues. I have categories for all of that. So if somebody's shopping in my store and they want to look up Blue's Clues, they can go into that store category and shop to their heart's content.
Well, I'm right there with you. I use store categories too. That's just the way I started, and I just kept it going, and it works good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I list everything in the eBay categories that my item would go in, but then I also have separate store categories that I put everything in subcategories in my own store, so it's easy to find for everybody.
I just use eBay categories because I started doing store categories and I was like, holy crap, I buy too much different stuff. Revert back to eBay categories. So now I use eBay categories. Clay's Closet sent a $4.99 super chat. Listen, smart Alec. Clay says, hi, Kat. What's the weather there today? It actually warmed up today. We almost got to 80 here today. Fun words to say. Let's see if I can see them. Guanajuato, which is a city in Mexico, Rutabaga, Egregious, Whippersnapper, Plethora, and Ignoramus. I think I got all of them. I think I got all of them. All right. Here is your dolphin, Clay. Thank you so much. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's go. How far will you travel for sourcing?
Anywhere. We're going to be traveling all over the United States when I finally retire, and it's always going to be a sourcing trip to pay pay for it.
If I had more time, I'd go farther, but the furthest I've gone is 3 hours to source from Cat, so I drove over to Cat.
I source all over the U.S. Me and Handman Beyond once actually drove from Florida to Texas on a Thursday night. We drove straight through. We loaded up an entire U-Haul and then literally turned around, didn't sleep, and drove straight back. So, yeah.
Yeah, I travel the country too. The furthest I went is Pennsylvania, Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to Birmingham, Alabama. I just sourced a ton down in Key West. I got some amazing stuff. I'll have videos coming out on my other channel soon. Regularly, I will travel 2 hours. And for auctions, I'll travel 3 to 4 hours. But I go all over the country as well. What supplies does a beginner need for great photos aside from your phone?
Good lighting. Otherwise, you're going to have crappy pictures no matter what you try.
I would say the photo room app on your phone and lighting.
You can literally go to the dollar store and get 2 pieces of white cardboard and set up and get a ring light, and you can make a little makeshift photo booth at your house, and then just use the editing software on your phone in a regular photo for the brilliance and for I forget the other one, brilliance and one of the other. You can actually just make it all white and black everything. White everything out in your background on your phone. So
photo, the phone board, one ring light right there.
There we go. That's all you need.
And photo room.
Yeah, I agree with everybody else. We have white paper just taped up there in the corner, and there are little LED lights, and we use photo room. So I would say those. Kathleen wants to know, is there a pottery site to help identify types or artists? Does anybody know?
Nope. Don't know.
I'm sure there are
groups. There's Facebook groups for everything.
That or Google
Danny, the niche lady, and I actually think that her and Tiffany are on next week or the week after. She knows a site. So Kathleen, if you remember when Danny's on, ask that question. And she told us the site before, but I don't remember it. Kaya says, is it true as a new buyer you have to post 10 items per day to be successful?
I don't think you have to post 10 items, but you're going to be limited anyway when you first start. So I don't even think you would be able to list 10 a day. But being consistent, I think listing consistently is key to being successful.
Yeah, just be consistent, even if it's just one a day.
Mm-hmm.
Consistent, send offers if you get them.
The reason why people say that is there's 2 ways people search. They search by newly listed or items ending that day. So if you list consistently every single day, you're going to hit both those barriers.
Yeah, and I don't think you need 10 a day. I agree with Rebel. You just need to be consistent, and most new sellers are going to be limited, so you're not going to be able to. So yeah. And Danny and Tiffany are on in 2 weeks. Next week is Katie Reeds and Tucker Finley. So I'm excited to have Tucker. He is a young gentleman who is probably kicking a lot of our butts in sales. And his dad or his mom will be on with him, but super motivated kid, amazing. He was at FlipCon. So Tucker and Katie will be on with us next week. Kathy says, do you accept returns for global shipping?
Now, I am in the new program. I've been in it since the beginning of November, the new eBay international shipping. It does automatically set you up for returns, but supposedly at this point, if you get a return, which I haven't had any issues, nothing yet. Well, no, I take that back. I'll tell you that one in a second. But I haven't been notified of any issues as far as stuff. But I just went on time away and there's no way to turn the new shipping off. And I ended up making sales. And I'm not sure eBay said I was okay, that it was saying I needed to ship the same, the next day. But I had kids here, so I went ahead and had them ship for me. But there's no way to turn it off, which I don't know if they're going to deal with that at some point. You're either in or you have to actually disenroll. And I didn't want to do that.
That's good to know because I'm in the new one too, but I opted out for now.
I love it.
I ship direct to Canada, but I just do it direct because it's very, very easy. But I don't accept international returns.
Yeah, so I'm actually not in the new eBay shipping program yet. I have not been sent an offer for it, so I'm still in the global shipping program. I don't accept international returns, but if the item is broken, they can open up a claim through eBay, and eBay will work it out for both sides so that the buyer and the seller will be covered.
I don't think you'll get an email. Yeah. I was just thrown into it without warning. So
yeah,
I don't think Kat's in it either. Are you?
I'm not in it either, no. And I don't accept returns for global shipping. Would Reseller Genie be a replacement for QuickBooks? No, it is an addition. So it actually will work with QuickBooks. So it's more of a reseller integration, and it'll pull in your eBay sales and your other platform sales for you to use integrated with QuickBooks. Or you can get the printouts from that and bring it to an accountant at the end of the month or at the end of the year. So you could, but my understanding is it works better with it. I'm not going to use it with it because I have my accountant do mine, but it would be in conjunction. Last question, guys. We got through all the questions. Are any of you planning on going to I believe they mean the Springfield Extravaganza in Ohio. It is an antique show.
Haven't heard of it.
No, I'll be going to Renninger's this weekend.
I have not heard of it, and I'm also probably about 1,200 miles away from that, so probably not.
Yeah, no.
I might, because like Jocelyn Crazy Lamp Lady goes, she's a friend of mine. Dagny Flying Pig Thrifts, Misty Thrifter Junker, George the Antique Nomad. So the extravaganza is more really in the vintage community. So I didn't go the last 2 years. It really depends on what is going on. I see new questions rolling in, but we're past our 10 o'clock mark. So if you guys bring them next week, come early and put your questions in. I'm going to let everybody tell you guys bye and what they've got coming up. I already told you Katie Reeds and Tucker Finley who are on with us next week. So here is Rebel. Tell you guys bye. Their links to everybody's channel are in the description, and Richard has been dropping them, and Richard is saying the total raised is $2,238 for Michelle, Mama Flipper, for Josh. So thank you guys, all of you who donated. That is absolutely amazing. And here is Miss Rebel to tell you guys goodbye.
Hi. Thanks, Kat. Thanks, Rod, for having me back on. Again, I'm the Rebel Reseller. I'm not normally sounding this sick, but I've just been really down with this. But definitely come check out. If you're wanting to check into stuffed animals and other toys, definitely come over to my channel. I do usually 5 or 6 videos a week on what solds and my hauls, and I have a Facebook group, The Rebel Reseller, also hangout, that and answers a lot of questions about plush.
Perfect. Here's Miss Marsha.
Thanks, guys. I kind of stepped in at the last minute for Kat, so glad to be back again. Go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm hoping to get started back in videos again here soon. Check me out on Whatnot. I sell costume and vintage jewelry, and I have a sale a week from Saturday on the 28th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So go bookmark and follow me there. And I'm also on Instagram. So check me out over there as well. All the same name.
Perfect. Whoa. Oh, that was kind of weird for a second. Rod, you dropped one today, right?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. I just dropped a brand new video where I go garage selling at a hoarder's house that was a drug addict that the bank took the house. So they put all their stuff outside for sale. So it's pretty interesting. So go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. You could also, if you guys ever had any questions, Facebook or Instagram me at Picking and Punching. I'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, and Rod and I get to see Rod tomorrow night. Rod and I will be at the List Perfectly listing party in Wesley Chapel, Florida tomorrow night. The registration is closed. That's why we didn't really push it, because now if you don't have your tickets, you can't go. Registration's closed. But we will be there tomorrow. I'm bringing Lynn. My assistant is coming with me to the List Perfectly listing party. So we're excited about that. It's the first time she's got to like travel and go somewhere with me. I recorded 4 videos in Key West sourcing. So those will be coming out. I will be starting 2 videos a week on Cat's treasure hunting. Here I go, adding to what I'm doing again. I also will be posting shorts. So if you're not looking at shorts, I posted one today. It's just little snippets from my regular videos. My goal is to try and post a short a day. So those will be coming out on my channel as well. So yeah, I want to say thanks again to Richard Otnip Drop Flips. He has a YouTube channel as well. If you guys haven't checked him out, it's Ford Pinto Flips Backwards. Check Richard out. Richard, put your link in. I'm telling you, put your channel in so everybody can check you out. Richard just matched $500 donation to Josh to help Michelle, who is Mama Flipper, help this young gentleman who is homeless, and he has just got a job. So that is amazing. And yeah, I will have a video. Well, no, I'm not putting my what sold out this Thursday because I'm going live Friday with Mark 2, Not Your Dad's CPA. So I will be live Friday with Mark 2. And then my what sold will come out on Sunday this week. And we had $1,500 go out today. So not too shabby. So we had those crappy days, but we also had $1,000 days. So it really has evened out. So I appreciate everybody coming. We are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Go check out Richard's channel for sure. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you guys.